Can you sit at my desk and act as
No.
I'm not getting any of the responses. Excellence and teamwork.
Jackie, don't pick that food down. He twisted it. I didn't want it, but we probably didn't.
He didn't know what it is. It's a, wait, we're live. It's a beautiful day in Fairfield. We are living through excellence, through our teamwork. I forgot everything.
Are you laughing?
I'm sorry. It's too early. It's too late. We did testimony or something.
This show was in North Georgia too. And they show the local programming on the True Vista channel in North Georgia. So I think you on TV in Tacoma, Clayton.
Oh, wow.
We're live across the
That's our train to me. No, she said that they had something very down. No, they had a meeting earlier.
If you wanted to call somebody, we could set that up.
That's what it is. That's what I know. That's what I know. How you doing? You all right?
I called you early.
You called me early and my phone, I can't find my phone. It's in the house somewhere. Brenda said that. Brenda said that. Yeah. Thin, somewhere.
I need you to keep up with you.
How's everybody? Good way out here, all right?
You
Good,
good?
good, good.
His hair.
Good to see you again, my brother. Hey, how you doing? I'm good, how are you? I'm doing well.
Looks like it is 6 o'clock. I'll call the May already? May. The May 15th meeting. Well, mine was March. Nobody wished me well. I think there's 3 of us were March, actually. Thank you for all being here. I know there's something going on down the street, and it seems like our schedule always coincides with that, but thank you all for being here this evening. Ms. Brown, I believe we've had proper public notification of the meeting, correct?
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. And it looks like everybody is here, so I believe we have confirmation of a quorum. At this time, the chair would entertain a motion to enter executive session.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion, we enter executive session for contractual, legal, personnel matters, certified resignations and recommendations, and 1 student readmittance request, providing I get a second.
I second.
All right, so there is a motion to enter executive session regarding legal, personnel, contractual matters, the certified resignations, recommendations, and a readmittance request. All those in favor? And I'll take this point. Y'all notice that we went a little more detail on that. It was brought to my attention that our statement had not necessarily been in compliance with the FOIA law. I took it on myself, did a little bit of research on that, and concluded that we probably need to do a little more definitive statement. So that's why you've got a little bit more detail on that this evening, and we'll continue to do that so the public is aware of what we'll be discussing as we go into executive session in compliance with FOIA law. So with that, all those in favor of entering executive session indicate by raising your right hand. Looks like 7-0 to me. We will enter executive session not to exceed 6:30. Thank you.
Yeah, they tried to get me done. It won't work.
The chair will entertain a motion to exit executive session.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion, we exit executive session, provided I get a second.
Thank you, Mayor. It's been motioned by Ms. Harrison, second by Pastor Jackson to exit executive session. I do want to know before we vote on this matter, there was something on there about a student readmittance request. That was erroneously on there. That matter had been resolved last month. So just wanted to clarify on that. Having said that, all those in favor of exiting executive session, please indicate by raising the right hand. I believe that is 7-0. Did we get everybody on that? Did you vote? Did I see your hand? Okay, all right, just make sure. Good. All right, again, welcome. Thank you all for being here. I know this coincides with the co-op meeting down the road, so I don't know if they're giving away a coffee maker or a toaster or umbrella. Well, I know they got the car, but thank you all for taking your time out to be here this evening. At this time, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance and moment of silence.
Let us stand for the pledge of allegiance and moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. A moment of silence. Thank you.
Next on the agenda will be the approval of the agenda. I do have one thing that I want to bring to the board's attention. You'll see under presentations and recognitions, we've had discussion. Dr. Greener and I talked about having recognition for our STEM cohort 1. I believe they're invited and present in the room with us this evening. I neglected to follow up on that and make sure that it was actually on the agenda. I think we're all aware that that was going to occur, but since it wasn't on there, we do need a motion to officially put it on the agenda. So if there is a motion to amend the agenda to add the recognition of STEM cohort 1, Chair would entertain that. Thank you, Ms. Hartman. Is there a second?
I second.
It's been motioned by Ms. Hartman, seconded by Ms. Harrison to amend the agenda. This would require a supermajority vote if we were to do this. All those in favor indicate by raising your right hand. Thank you for not making me do math on that. That is 7-0. We will add that to the agenda, and I apologize for not confirming that was on there. Any other discussion about the agenda, or is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion, we approve the agenda as amended.
Thank you, Ms. Harris.
Second.
Thank you, Pastor Jackson. Been motioned by Ms. Harrison, second by Pastor Jackson to approve the agenda as amended. All those in favor indicate by raising your right hand. It is 7-0. Thank you. I believe we're now down to public comment.
Mr. Chair, we have two public comments. First, and it's Ms. Epps. The second is Ms. Epps. Is it Lisa? Liza, you up first. It's 5 minutes.
We got the clock up here. If those speaking, just keep an eye on the clock.
Good evening. Thank you for reminding me about the clock. Y'all know I'm long-winded because I am the one that's been emailing y'all a couple times now. Hi, everybody. I don't mean to put it down for what y'all got going on. It's a beautiful thing to see that so many parents come out on a regular basis for their children. I missed the basketball game and the father-daughter dance, so I'm not even number with y'all. But the reason I'm here is because there's an issue in the school district that I have noticed over the past several years, and it's really coming to a head with some of the children and parents I know in the community, and with my children in particular. It seems like the same way we have a standard for how our children should behave and what will be done if they don't behave that way. We need to have the same type of standard for our teachers. We have some really good teachers here, and a lot of them do go above and beyond to make sure that they lift the child up when they're falling behind. But they do that just out of the kindness of their heart. I would like to see the board put together some type of program that lets teachers know this is how you should handle a student that is wayward. Don't just first go to the disciplinary options. Go to, is there tutoring that I can offer this child? Is there guidance that I can offer this child? Should I contact their parents? If I give them a letter, and I know they're probably not going to give a letter to their parents, is there another way I can get in touch with them? What programs and guidelines and standards can you put in place so that parents know what to expect when the doors close behind our children? And what can the children expect when something goes on and they're surrounded by adults telling them that you got to do what I say? Adults don't always make the right decision. If a child feels like they've been wrong, what recourse do they have that they know somebody's going to listen to me and let me know what's going on? I mean, let me know what I can do to better this situation for myself. One example I want to bring up right now, I haven't got a chance to speak with my daughter's school about it, but it just came to mind while I was sitting here. My child's in 6th grade, and her entire class has not had recess pretty much all school year. I just found this out a month ago. Nobody contacted me and let me know that the children had done something so awful that children don't get to have recess. I mean, that might be a small thing to a lot of people, but to a child, recess is a big deal. And if they did something that was that bad, that got stripped from them, why didn't anybody let me know? Any of the parents know. Please put something in place so that not just our children have a standard when they're on sports teams or when they're doing bad academically or behaviorally. Give us something to let us know what we need to expect from our teachers. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Cynthia Epps.
Good afternoon.
Is that-
As that was my daughter, and we kind of have the same concerns. But one of my concerns is, I wrote on my paper, no child left behind. We know the children, they get in different grades, and they tend to get to feeling themselves, like my grandmama used to say, and they don't feel like they got to do this or do that, and get parents the papers and all of this. Okay, my granddaughter was on the honor roll, the Beta Club, and the Gifted and Talented. Her grades to me now do not reflect that. And this has been from the beginning of her education up until the 6th grade. Something happened And to me, seemed like we should have been contacted by somebody that a child went from an honor roll, gifted and talented, and beta club status down to where I'm hoping that she makes her grade this year. Somebody, it should be something, I know you got the emails, you got the, other thing, the parent-teacher program that you have that you can look online and find out what your child is doing every day. Well, Fairfield County, we ain't the richest county in the world, and some of us can't afford the emails and the internet to be able to look at this. How do we know when our child is dropping, other than hearing directly from a teacher? When does the teacher call and say, okay, well, I see something drastic going on with this child, I need to call somebody. I need to contact somebody because the parent is not responding to the email, the whatever else that y'all have in place to be responded to. What do we need to do that when we have a child, any child, not only the gifted and talented and the honor roll and all that, but when a child is slipping, because I see something, it's a problem going on with that child. You have suicides, bullying, you have all kinds of stuff that's going on with a child that looks normal and happy, but it's something going on, and I can see it in grades. And before it gets too far, what do we need to do?
Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, next up is presentations and recognition. Am I turning that over to you? Who am I turning that?
Yeah, I'll start that off, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, members of the board, it gives me great pleasure to recognize STEM Cohort 1. This outstanding group of students were our trailblazers for this initiative that would allow these students to earn an associate's degree by the time they graduate high school. I have been monitoring them for the last, I guess it's been 6 years. I don't know, it'd be 6 years. It's been 6 years, yeah. And so we've had shed a few tears. Just a few tears. They've been happy, they've been mad, they've been sad, but it all kind of came to a very exciting culmination on last week when they realized the benefits of all of that hard work. They used to always tell me, said, Superintendent, we're your guinea pigs, because this is the first time this has been done, and you're making all these kind of adjustments as we move through the program. And they're right, we've had to make some adjustments along the way, and because of you, we have an even better program in years as moving forward. But I'd like to thank them and their parents for doing an outstanding job supporting them, because it was not easy to get to the point where you've earned an associate's degree before you earn your high school diploma. So, let's give a round of applause. And so we have a few mementos that we'd like to leave them with. All of these young folks will be departing college this year, and when they come up, we'll kind of talk a little bit more about what they'll be doing once they leave Fairfield Central High School.
Mercedes Carpenter.
Tell me your own, say.
Coastal Carolina.
All right.
Amari Hill, who also graduated with honors.
Trey Swan, who also graduated with honors.
All right. Give me great news, Tracy.
Going to the University of South Carolina.
Sorry. I came in white.
I think.
I'm sorry. I'm going to college of Charleston.
All right.
Mr. Anderson.
I will be attending the College of Charleston as well.
All right.
Megan Pearson. Okay, I will be attending the University of North Carolina at Charlotte, majoring in communications, administration, and public relations. And Marjorie Wade Roberts.
I will be attending the illustrious Clark Atlanta
All right, girl.
with a major in early childhood education.
All right.
And we have two that are not present, Kashinda Sims,
Yeah, no, BYU.
Brigham Young, and Gerald Mills. He is going to upstate.
And so I'd like to also say that during the graduation on last week, Middlesex Tech probably awarded 12 associate's degrees to high school students, and 9 of them were from Fairfield.
All right, I know y'all want to say something for that. Before we move.
Yeah. I gotta go for him, so. And anyway, I would like to say I am very proud of all of y'all. And yes, y'all were the guinea pigs, but the good guinea pigs. And it paid off, y'all hard work paid off. So I know each one of you gonna make us proud. Trace Swan, I'm really hurt right now. I'm really hurt. But it's okay, I know Dr. Green was in your ear. But anyway, y'all make us proud, and I like to keep up with y'all, you know. Whenever I'm in town, I will be in Atlanta, so I will be calling y'all. So you better ask the ones that went before y'all. I will look you up.
Whoever
Hey, let me tell you something. This is emotional too. I'm just gonna tell you that. All 10, 11 y'all my kids. That's the way I feel. I'm gonna cut off for somebody kids.
Very proud of all of you, and I'm sure that you will advance in your whatever endeavors you're going into. And Tracy, as far as the USC, I'm sure you'll make them proud as well as we are proud of you all. Thank you.
First, I just want to say that I have been on this board for 17, almost 18 years. And those of you who know me know that one of the things that I've always pushed for was greater for our children. And I just want to say to Dr. Green that I really, really, really appreciate and the fruits of your labor has been presented with these students. You and I have had a lot of back and forth, but I think through it all, you and I both had the same interest, and that was the best for our children. And I want to thank you for doing that. And to the children for following what you all needed to follow and starting your career. And when you decide that you want to go to school, if you decide you want your PhD, do not worry about getting a master's degree, go straight for your PhD. Because it's somewhat a waste of time, and I didn't learn that until much, much later. So if you have any inclination with your PhD, you can always stop short if you get tired. But please, and I know I see a lot of PhDs and doctors and lawyers and whatever, because you're going to be the greatest regardless what it is. And parents, I don't even know what to say for you guys, except for I really, really appreciate how you stood in them with your children. And those of you who call me with different concerns and just need encouragement or whatever, I am just so proud of how you kept your children in Fairfield County and allowed this to be an opportunity for me to see that our children can really, really grow. I've always fought for Fairfield County children, always will. When I go to my Delta meetings, they'll tell you, anytime something come up, I always say, what about Fairfield County? What about Fairfield County? So you guys have made me immensely proud. And just like Ms. Harrison said, I would be following you. When I was in Charleston, I used to have the students call me, and I always take them to dinner, but I'm not there anymore, so I won't be doing that. But if you ever need anything that I can help you with, from the parents to the children, please let me know. And please go in the community, you all, because the same that we did for these children, we can do for all of our children. And the Bible says, and tell us about the least of these. So please, y'all, let's just work to make Fairfield County greater, make our school system greater, and continue to graduate students to show this kind of proudness. And I just want to again say thank you to all of you, Dr. Green, board members, staff, just everybody, children, parents. I love you guys, and just thank you for making us proud.
I'm gonna have to stand up. Yeah. Since I've been on this board, I've been telling people about the STEM court. People look at me as if I don't know what I'm talking about. And when I start talking about what other districts have done and how we were pioneering things before they came on board, folks look at me like I don't know what I'm talking about. But I got 9 reasons now as proof that what I was saying was real. Thank you so much for hanging in there, and I'm so proud of you.
I just want to say that I'm really proud of all of y'all. Y'all set a big stepping stone for Fairfield County. Something we really needed because, a lot of things they say about our educational system up here. I think what y'all did last week really showed them that they're wrong. I was really, honored to be there, to see y'all. I've seen some of y'all grow up, and now just to see y'all about to graduate, and not only graduate, but you graduated with an associate's degree. That makes me feel very proud of our county and the educational system. And I wish y'all the best of luck.
Personal privilege as chair to go last, but for those of y'all who think about going to law school, come see me before you do that. I'll talk to you about that. Pharmacy school, think pharmacy school. I'm kidding. Seriously though, if you're interested to go to law school, any of y'all, anybody out there who's got kids, feel free to come see me. I'm over at the courthouse about half the time. I want to put in perspective what y'all did, because I sat there and I watched everybody who walked across that stage. Mr. Davis sitting there right beside me, he saw me taking down notes. Just understand how many school districts are in the area that Midlands Tech serves. We talking about Fairfield County, we talking about Richland County, we talking about Lexington County, okay? There were 4 schools out of those 3 counties, 4 schools out of those 3 counties that had kids walk across that stage, okay? Batesburg, Airport, Fairfield, and Richland One Middle College. We had 9 kids get associate's degrees. That's over 60 hours of college while they're getting their high school diploma. Now, I don't care if I get in trouble about this part, but I want to note this. There wasn't a single kid from Richland 2, less than Richland 5. All these schools that I have heard all the time, oh, I need to get my kid down there because they got a better opportunity. Not one of those kids walked across that stage. Y'all did. You're not going to be the last, because this fall, the 7th cohort is beginning. Okay? 7. Now, I read at the beginning of this past school year, state newspaper was writing out education articles about all these great school districts, and all these school districts were talking about how they've started this dual credit program. Started this year. We started our 6th this year. So they're following us. They're following y'all. And remember that as you go out there. We're very, very proud of you. I cannot tell you how excited I was about this whole program ever since Dr. Green was telling me about it. I got so excited I had to force my daughter to get in it herself. So I'm proud that she is part of y'all. And one day we'll march across that stage. Ms. Swilley, I want to thank you for what you've done over at the high school. Mr. Harris out there, it all begins at the middle school. Y'all preparing folks. Teachers out there who are involved with this, thank y'all. Parents, believe me, I know the work that goes into it, because my wife has to do all that. I can't. Have y'all seen the math that they got to do? I can't. I even asked about social studies, and I looked at that and I said, look, you're on your own. I can't do that. But y'all did tremendous work, and I know I'm beating a dead horse, but I can't express how excited we all are, and how excited this community is about what y'all accomplished and what the ones coming behind you are going to continue to accomplish. So thank you for your work, and congratulations.
Just want to correct you on one thing, because
I knew you weren't going to let me have the last word.
You can have the last word. I just had to say this. When I was typing my Facebook post, after going there and seeing those students walk across that stage, but they actually received their associate's degree before getting their diploma, because they won't get their diploma until June. So that made it even more special. Yes.
Mr. Fred.
Yes, sir.
We have a young lady, Ms. Robinson.
Well, I wanted to do this because I know my classmates wanted to say this today. I was nominated as the spokesperson. So I wanted to thank the district for backing us up 100% throughout this entire journey, because 6 years of constantly, going through the battle of taking college courses while in high school is not easy at all. At all. And we had y'all's support and y'all's encouragement for all 6 years. You never left our side. You always tell us, keep going, keep pushing. We're here. No matter what we needed, even if we just wanted to talk about it and just complain for like an hour to Dr. Green, he was there, he would listen, but he would say, hey, I know you're mad, but you gotta do it. And we appreciate that. And I just want to say to Ms. Swilley that you really were amazing for us. Like, I wouldn't have wanted any other woman to be our captain of this ship, because throughout the whole thing, you let us know that no matter what went down, even if the ship might have sunk, you were going to be there to sink with us. And that is more than a principal. That is just an amazing woman in general. And I really do thank you. And I thank the district for just giving us this amazing opportunity, because without this opportunity, I wouldn't have met these amazing 8 people who helped me grow as a person, and we all helped each other grow. So I want to again say thank you for just changing my life with this program. So that's all.
Next on the agenda, I think we have further presentations, right?
Yeah, it's a two-word presentation.
Good afternoon. Ongoing research shows that family engagement in schools improves student achievement and it reduces absenteeism. Therefore, this year, we want to recognize those parents that attended 6 or more school meetings and/or workshops. I ask that you please excuse me in advance if I mispronounce any of the names. Can I get a representative from Fairfield Elementary School?
If you guys would please join us at the front when your name is called, and remain at the front, if you will. We'll do a group picture for each school after all names have been recognized.
The first parent to be recognized, Miss Tiffany Beaver. Miss Marcella Young Belton. Miss Deborah Bradwell. Miss Talisha Brown. Our very own Mr. Darrell Davis. Miss Cheryl Trapp. And Miss Rosetta Watson.
Give them another round of applause.
I just want to thank Fairfield Elementary School for allowing me to be a part of their teamwork, and I love it there, and I look forward to next year. Thank you.
If I could get a representative from Giger Elementary School. Mr. Ronald Bush. Mrs. Archona Goings. Miss Sharon Hare. Miss Tia Squarwell. Miss Cotelsa Walker.
Let's give him another round of applause.
Next, if I can have a representative from McCory Liston. Ms. Kelsey Brown. Ms. Janet Hammock. Ms. Cynthia Cromer. Ms. Tony Davis. Ms. Janet Lynn Douglas. Ms. Beverly Feaster. Ms. Mary Catherine Gardner. Ms. Belinda Kennedy. Ms. Sherry Meeks. Ms. Tara Morgan. Mr. Joe Siebels. Mr. Blee Small Sr. Ms. Clarence Smalls. Ms. Daisy Thompson. Mr. Bruce Wadsworth. Mrs. Valerie Williamson Smith. Ms. Glenda Woodard. And Mrs. Sharon King Harris.
Let's give them all another round of applause.
Next, if I can have a representative from Kelly Miller. Ms. Melanie Boyd. Ms. Jessica Ginyard. Ms. Beth Harris. Ms. Felicia Johnson. Mr. Rashid Mwakia. Ms. Natasha David Piles. And Mr. Batista Woodard.
Give another round of applause.
If I could have a representative from Fairfield Magnet School. Ms. Deloitte Anderson. Mr. Max L. Bayami. Ms. Beverly Booker. Ms. Zakaria Balknight Jeter. Ms. Belinda Broom. Ms. Cook. Ms. Kawan Broom. Ms. Carrie Kamek. Ms. LaShonda Coleman. Ms. Jean Crawford. Ms. Brittany Dreer. Ms. Edwinda Goodman. Ms. Celeste Green. Ms. Vanessa Hollins. Ms. Kimberly Hughes. Ms. Adaha Jones. Ms. Joanne Mayfield. Ms. Lakia McKinstry. Ms. DeAndre McKinstry. Ms. Brenda Miller. Our very own Mr. Henry Miller. Ms. Lakeisha Kaufman. Ms. LaWanda Pearson. Ms. LaToya Perry. Ms. Yante Peters. Ms. Michelle Pringle. Mr. Quincy Pringle. Mrs. Diana Robinson. Ms. Lashetta Thompson. Ms. Kendra Tidwell. Ms. Kimyetta Tidwell. Ms. Elgene Warren. Ms. Tamika Watkins. Ms. Francetta Pearson. Mr. Darrell White. Ms. Carnissa Williamson. Ms. Shanika White. Ms. Clarissa Williamson. Ms. Leslie Woodard. Miss Marilyn Almador, Amadora, excuse me. Miss Sheila Jones. Mr. Victor Hernandez. Mr. William Gonzalez. Miss Tashina Jones. Miss Deborah Dixon. Miss Dorothy Swilly. Miss Tracy Swilly. Mr. Don Phillips. Mr. Aaron McCory. Miss Michelle Taylor. Mr. Marcus Woodard. Mr. Jared Douglas. Mr. Latreri Perry. Mrs. Kumar.
Latoya Camp can get her mom.
What's her
She
mom's
didn't say
name? Thank you.
All right.
Can I get a representative from Fairfield Central and Fairfield Middle School? Our very own Dr. J.R. Green. Mrs. Tanya Green. Mr. Tony Armstrong. Miss Michelle Buford. Mr. Antonio Benjamin. Ms. Rashida Benjamin. Mr. Jordan Boyd. Miss Amanda Boyd. It's another one.
It's another one, they got to
Thank you. Miss Letitia Boyd. Miss Pamela Boyd. Miss Tashonda Broom. Mr. Sammy Cornelius. Mrs. Shamika Cornelius. Mrs. Beverly Davis, Miss Yvette Feaster, Miss Francine Goins, Mr. Chris Hill, Miss Erica Hill, Miss Susan Howard, Miss Mandina Kennedy, Miss Denise McCoy, Miss Shirley Mobley, Miss Melanie Pearson, Miss Regina Swan, Miss Carla Thompson, Mr. Chris Truesdale, Miss Christy Truesdale, Miss Alberta Woodard, and Mr. Jason Wright. I would like to thank each and every one. We had a total of 129 parents to be recognized on tonight. I need to recognize one more parent, Miss Christina Young, please, from Fairfield Magnet School. Thank you again.
Congratulations, everyone. All right, thank y'all. We will continue on. I believe we now have a presentation as a continuation of a public comment we had last meeting. Y'all.
Makes me very proud that I spent so many years in education. I was, I think you know, the dean or vice president of 6 colleges all across the country. And I came to South Carolina in 1992, and I believe I lived here 11 years. Blakewood and Wagner, and I met Randy in 1998 when I owned a manufacturing company, composites manufacturing company, And Randy has stayed in contact with me, even though I moved to Virginia. I think I stayed there 7 or 8 years, and then I moved to Florida. And Randy has pretty much been in contact with me throughout all those years. That's 20 years. And his first comment normally has always been, we need you to move back to South Carolina. And I've spent my last 2 nights living in a home here in South Carolina. We have moved back. And we have moved back for a project that we think is very needed. I mean, it's wonderful to see the support on both sides for the school system. But in America, 20% of the kids don't graduate from high school. 30% graduate from college. So we've got a big workforce out there that would like good jobs, but they need specialized training. Sometimes fairly short training, in terms of months. And in every single institution I have worked with, starting with Saline High School in Saline, Michigan, I have offered short-term training programs. Every single college for which I worked, we offered them from midnight till 8 in the morning, because when I got there, we filled the day completely, from 8 in the morning till 10 at night. So I had to offer them after midnight, and I did. I've always worked with, and if I give you the names, some of you will recognize them, MDTA, JTPA, CETA, CETA, because they needed their clients trained, and they had government money, funding. We would typically have 3 to 5 different programs going at night. And that caused some complications when I was the new dean and walk in and say, we're going to offer midnight programs. And they said, no, the lights go out at midnight. We don't have a lighted parking lot. We put a wall up and you can't get to the vending machines. Well, guess what? They changed all that because I was the dean. And I went to the board and we made new rules that worked. And we had many national awards for job placement. Randy convinced me to come back, and we're going to do this project. But we would like to work with the school system. And our little proposal here says we would like to lease the upper wing of the old Gordon Odyssey Academy, and the number of years really doesn't matter. If it's 5 years or 10 years, at $1 a year, and I've done that in several districts, just to put it back into operation. And we're asking for the first year, because we have no source of funding today, but we're asking that maybe the electricity be maintained by the school district and the phone system. And initially it would probably be one office and a conference room to start with, so we can meet clients. And then we obviously would purchase insurance to protect both of us. And at the end of the first year, we would propose that we take over all utilities, phone system, but we would like to work with your buildings and grounds folks to make sure that we keep the site up to your standards. And they know the troubles and issues that are there, and we'd like to work with you on that. We would keep you up to date on any changes in the buildings or grounds. And obviously, we want to train people in what is called in-demand, and that's WIOA's terminology, programs. And we could offer anything from, I would say typically 3 months to, and Randy and I said, it could be 2 years if necessary. If the community college, the universities don't offer something that we find is needed, but our primary programs would be short-term, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. This LEPART has given us several categories: information technology, which we all know, healthcare, business services and administration, advanced manufacturing. And that is what I personally specialized as I taught for 21 years. And then transportation and logic. And Mr. Sisk is a newly appointed chairman of the Fairfield County Airport, and he is working with the county, state and federal government on potential programs such as private pilot training and possibly commercial pilot training. And the examples we would like to show you include some that would not be really for a full-time job. I mean, we've got the butcher course, maybe it would be something where many people could get jobs, but it's not the same as many other categories. I looked up CAD and CNC, and right now in this county there's something like 60 openings between those two, and you wouldn't find that for, you know, a butcher or a upholsterer, but it's a category where we find there are people interested. Computer-aided design is a very good category. I placed students in that category for 21 years all over the nation. Computer-aided manufacturing, CNC. I was named the #1 instructor in the United States in 1981 in computer-aided manufacturing. Commercial driver. And in transportation, there are all kinds of diesel repair, avionics. You have, I think, the list there. A flight attendant. I mean, there are many, many short-term training programs that we'd like to work on. We would, of course, work closely with WIOA. Those are the new initials. And we would work with, we will set up a private nonprofit organization. I've already got approval from a gentleman who worked with me as a grant writer in 4 states. He will work with us until he'll work with us for a percentage of what he brings in. And then I don't think you've seen my list, I have been able to bring in $253 million in grants during my career. So I will also be developing grants. I mean, we may offer apprentice programs if there is a demand, and we don't want to compete with the university. We don't want to compete with the community colleges. I have actually funded programs at Clemson, USC, Midlands Tech. I was the person that helped fund programs there a few years ago, and I would work with them to make sure that we're not competing with something that they would be interested in. The other piece that we want to offer, and I've actually met with the county and I explained that I have had great success at starting small businesses. Every time, and for the last several years, I visit every year, I don't see any changes on Main Street. In Virginia, when I retired in 2003, I went to work immediately because there was such a disastrous situation. And in 6 years, I was able to start 181 new businesses. They were able to borrow $45 million, and their unemployment is now 4 or 5%, and it was 20%. I have been doing that the last 6, 7 years. In Florida, I've been hired by SBDC in 2 locations. And in the last year, my wife got sick, and I had to leave there, and I've been doing it at home. I had 21 clients this year. Now they're paying me cash to help them, and all but 1 are funded right now, 1 more. But I want to do that here. I want to meet with any citizen that wants to start a business. And I'll help them with a business plan, I'll help them with a financial plan, and I'll introduce them to a funding source to get them started. In Monticello, Florida, I counted 42 empty businesses in downtown out of about 60. There are 2 empty businesses today, and they both have bad roof leaks. Every single business is filled in Monticello, Florida. They hired me, and I was able to do it. The banks fell all over me working with them. They were thrilled. So that's pretty much our proposal. I got to go back for 2 more days because we're opening an antique shop here on Main Street, right next to the laundry. Yeah, laundry, yeah. And it's gone. We've got another load to bring back, and I've got an old 25-year-old Lincoln I got to tow back and figure out what to do with. And then I'll be here 3 or 4 days from now, something like that. I'll be here permanently. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any particular questions?
Anybody have any questions, issues, concerns at this time?
Mr. Chairman, I know you made a statement about not competing with the high school, the school district, and
You know, I can't quite hear you, but I'll come here so I hear you.
I think I heard you make a statement about not competing with the Midlands Tech and others in the community. So what hours would your courses be, and are they to like re-educate?
Whenever we're needed. In other words, we could operate 24 hours a day. That's not a problem at all. We would be open whenever. Now, it should be possible because the students go 8 hours a day. It's not you take a course 1 hour a week. They go 8 hours a day for 3 to 6 months. And then we place them. It's our responsibility to get them a job. If we don't get them a job in the first 4 months or 6 months, they're still in the program. Now, I have had students, for example, I didn't mention one program. And that program is, and I already have approval from the gentleman, that program is an electric lineman program. Very, very good program for mostly kind of young folks, I'd say 20 to 50, because they have to climb a pole. And some people struggle with that. But they have now placed 256 people from that program in Galax, Virginia. That gentleman, Eddie Revis, is a regional coordinator. He will bring the program here. All we have to do is say, we're ready for the program. WIOA would fill those classes very quickly. because that's a very much in demand program, electric lineman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is there a, basic price that normally people pay to take these classes?
WIOA controls that initially, if they qualify. And there are many other ways that they can qualify, you know, organizations that will fund them. But WIOA, I think, has about a $3,000 limit for a, you know, 4 months, 6 month course. And yeah, there are, and I don't really know the different funding sources here, but there are a number of them who will back the person, who will fund them for the program.
Like a grant or something?
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And we will be searching for grants to cover people as well. But in most states, I was able to get everybody that wanted to join a program. I mean, I send them to CWJTP, WIOA, and they're ready for to fund them.
Thank you.
You bet.
Any other questions at this time? All right. Thank you very much for coming back and giving us a presentation.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. All right, next on the agenda we have board minutes.
Sure, before you go to the next item, is there going to be any movement in this program, Dr. Green, do you give any consideration to it, or?
Well, Mr. McDaniel, I figured they were going to present it to the board, and it's the board pleasure to move forward, and obviously now is the time you can consider it. And that's up to the pleasure of the board at this point.
Yes, we were to hear from you, to see how you think it would work with the school district. But I mean, if you had to do the whole lot of it, I mean, you know, we could wait later, but I just wondering.
Well, and so, I mean, you know, we've not necessarily talked about specific programs. I mean, obviously, you can give me some options there. You know, as long as it doesn't necessarily when people do this tag and what the school district is doing, and I am fully supportive.
Now, I did notice like the CNA program, don't we still have CNA at the
Absolutely.
center? So that was how it.
Well, and so, you know, in addition to CNA, obviously we are serving students of, obviously we are serving people of high school age. His program obviously will seek to provide support to people who are past high school, who could be 30, 40, 50 years old, who are looking for additional training. So that doesn't necessarily conflict with what we're doing either.
May I say something?
Yes, sir.
While we are attempting to go into the adult arena first, this year we would very much like to sit down with Dr. Green and decide which of these courses could be taught to our students here at an off-site. The buses would take them to our facility, whether it's upholstery, veterinarian tech, lab, pharmacy rather. We will work together to which is the best courses for our students. So it's two-tier approach at this.
It would sound to me like that there's probably some more conversation needs to be had, and then if there's something that superintendent feels like he can bring back to the board, I think we can probably look at it this time, at that time.
Well, just so we can have a motion on the floor, I would move that, I'm just authorized, for lack of a better word, Dr. Green to go ahead and.
Explore the issue is what you're trying to get to.
Explore the issue, bring a recommendation back to the board regarding the program and how it works in the community and also with the students.
All right.
I'll second that, or?
All right, there's a motion by Ms. McDaniel, seconded by Ms. Hartman for Superintendent Green to continue to explore the opportunities that have been presented to us this evening. Any further discussion on that this time?
This is similar, I guess, it sounds like to me, of what they used to have when we used to use the Career Center at night for additional welding for, basically, that was for adults though back then. But, you know, made reference to that, you know, when we first rebuilt the Career Center, that it'd be a good thing to go back to. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else? All right, it's been motioned and second to continue to explore the issue. All those in favor indicate by raising your right hand. Looks like it's 7-0. Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right, and now we will move on to, thank you, Ms. McDaniel, we did need to have that further discussion. I'd moved too quickly. Then we move to the board minutes. Chair will entertain a motion regarding the April 17, 2018 board minutes.
Mr. Chair, I say we set the superintendent recommendation to approval of the April 17 board minutes, provided I get a second.
Been motion by Ms. Harrison, seconded by Mr. Davis to approve the April 17, 2018 board minutes. Any corrections, amendment, or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the board minutes, please indicate by raising your right hand. All those opposed? Abstentions? 2 abstentions? Okay, so it's 5 in favor, 2 abstentions. Thank you.
I had an issue with my getting into board docs, but I had to work it out with technology, so I'm a little bit behind on that one.
I understand. It does happen. It does happen. All right. I'm going to have to get some glasses one day, Doctor, because I can't read this thing anymore. All right, I think we're down to you, correct?
Yes, sir.
Superintendent.
Chair and members of the board, first of all, let me once again say I'm so excited about STEM Cohort 1. These young folks have done an outstanding job and really put the Fairfield County School District on the map with Business Technical College. And I tell you, Business Technical College is very excited because we have represented a vision that I think they'd like to see manifested. So once again, shout out to those young people. Also, I'd like to recognize Ms. Ariel Truesdale, who plays first in the Skills USA Screen printing competition. And so Ariel will be traveling to the national competition. I think it's in Tennessee. I think Tennessee. She'll be traveling to the national competition. She won first place in South Carolina. She'll be representing South Carolina in the national competition. And she said on last week she is going to bring home the gold. So that'll be the first time that we would have won a national Skills USA Screen printing competition. So very excited to keep everyone impressed. Also, let me give all the folks who participated in putting the Hall of Fame gala together. Ms. Wallace and all of her staff, I hate to call her names because I'm sure to forget someone, but it was an absolutely remarkable event. I think we had close to 400 people there, and virtually everyone I spoke to was thoroughly impressed. As a matter of fact, someone said they had attended, Mr. Frick, and I hope I don't make anyone upset about this, but they said they had attended a Richmond One Hall of Fame banquet in years past and said it didn't have anything on what we put on. And so I said, I like to hear that. It was totally first class and recognized some outstanding individuals. Finally, let me give Ms. Brown and her mentors and the elite ladies a shout out. They had their continuing ball this past Saturday. Young ladies were quite elegant in how they presented themselves. And so we are truly proud of the outstanding job they've done. And that's all I have as it relates to updates and announcements. Now I move on to summer work hours.
Mr. Chairman, before we do, did I miss, did we recognize the student who she wanted to say?
No, we not recognize area. And quite honestly, Ms. McDaniel, I just found out about that on Thursday of last week. So, so we will. Yeah, we will.
We'll
wait
until
she gets that national medal. Yeah. So we will. And so as we have been doing over the last several years, my recommendation as we is that we implement summer work hours. Summer work hours would be from 7 o'clock to 5:30, Monday through Thursday. We will not work on Friday. That would begin on Monday, June the 11th, 2018, and conclude on Friday, August 3rd, 2018. So, Mr. Chair, that is my recommendation, is that we implement summer work hours.
All right, I believe that would be an action item, so Chair entertain a motion regarding summer work hours.
Mr. Chair, say we accept the superintendent recommendation for the approval of the summer work hours from 7 a.m. to 5:30 a.m., Monday through Thursday, beginning on Monday, June 11th, and concluding on Friday, August 3rd.
Thank you for your very thorough motion.
Well, 7 a.m., I said 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., sorry. Yeah, they start at 7 a.m.
Mr. Davis has the second on that motion. All right, any discussion on that? No discussion on that. All those in favor of accepting the superintendent's recommendation regarding summer work hours, please indicate by raising your right hand. I believe that's 7-0. Thank you.
Madam Chair, members of the board, a couple of months ago, we had a request to explore renaming the McCoy-Liston School of Technology cafeteria after Ms. Wilson, who served as the cafeteria manager there for many, many years. I think she was cafeteria manager for 30 plus years. And so we have assembled a committee, which is in line with our board policy. And so I'd like to read some information as it relates to the results of the committee. And so the committee forwarded me correspondence that indicated, please accept this email as our recommendation for the renaming of the McCoy-Liston School of Technology cafeteria in honor of Ms. Virginia Wilson. Her service and dedication to McCoy-Liston has made a positive impact in our school and community. Therefore, the committee and I fully support the renaming of the school's cafeteria in Ms. Wilson's honor. That committee included 2 students, 2 parents, 2 staff members, 2 community members, and 1 board member who was Mr. Miller. So I'm quite sure, Mr. Miller, would you like to add anything to the committee meeting, Mr. Miller?
Just to say that I think Mrs. Wilson is a pioneer, and she has done great work, not only just in McCoy-Liston, but all across this county. Very humble woman, and folks out there, Ms. McDaniel can attest that they love her. And the thing with this, I guess, just to speak on the testimony, sometimes people speak for you. Ms. Wilson was the type of person that you seen everybody coming to a cafeteria. I mean, whoever, Joe Billy off the street, she was gonna feed them. It didn't matter, that child didn't have no, so what? She's gonna feed you and make you faint. That's her. And so, with that saying, if it's in proper, I would like to make a motion to accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the renaming McCoy-Liston School Technology Cafeteria. The name. Provide negative second.
I second.
All right, I believe it's been thoroughly motioned by Mr. Miller and seconded by Ms. Harrison to name the cafeteria after Ms. Wilson. Any further discussion, comments on that at this time?
Mr. Chair, members of the board, I just want to bring to your attention, our policy really does not address the naming of an existing facility. Our policy speaks to guidelines for naming a new facility. And so as a part of the current policy, it indicated that 60 days prior to naming the facility, the board will make a public announcement of the intent to name the facility at its regular meeting. It really speaks to a new facility. I really don't think it really applies to this particular situation. So I wanted to bring that to your attention, but my recommendation is that our interpretation is not that we have to post it for 60 days per this policy.
Because it's an existing facility.
Well, just to make it good, Mr. Chair, I would move that, wait a minute, can we satisfy the motion?
Well, we're in discussion, so, I mean, if there's something you want to discuss about it.
No, I was just gonna make a motion to suspend, because we use that policy because we didn't have anything else in place to use our given. So I was just gonna move that we suspend.
Sounds like a friendly amendment to me. Suspend the policy to rename, to name the cafeteria after Miss Wilson. Is that what I'm hearing from you, Ms. McDaniel? Okay.
Based on the process presented by Dr. Green.
All right. So Ms. McDaniel's amendment, which I don't see any objection to, is to amend Mr. Miller's motion to suspend the policy as it may pertain to the situation. It looks like we've got a second on that, unless somebody just
I
wants
wanted
to
to
do it.
make a comment that, something to think about, that when we start looking at the policies, is maybe to change that policy to add something like this that comes up in the future.
Well, and I think that may have been why Mr. Green brought that to our attention, so it could be something we need to look at in the future. But thank you, yes, I agree. All right, any further discussion on this? It's been motioned, seconded, and amended to name the cafeteria at McCrory Lesson after Ms. Wilson. All those in favor indicate by raising your right hand. 7-0. Thank you.
Dr. Green, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, ma'am.
Before we leave that, of course, since the other meeting, I received interest of the same for Kelly Miller. So we just need to contact you, Dr. Green, to get the process moving.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, one final item. I talked about a month or maybe a little more. I met with a Pastor McCoy from St. Mark Baptist Church. Pastor McCoy indicated that he and his congregation were very much so interested in getting much more engaged in providing services to the community. He has discussed potentially beginning a after-school program or a potential summer program, which could provide academic and just development for the young people in our community. He would like to utilize the facility at Old Gordon Academy to do this. I mean, obviously, he would not need more than a few classrooms to implement such a program. So he's still working out some of the details in terms of exactly what that program would look like. Even in the event that we move forward with the program that was presented earlier, they all could exist in that facility. So there's enough space there for the training facility, his after-school program or summer program, in addition to some other things that may occur there. And so you have the information which he has made that request. My recommendation is, as he continues to kind of flesh it out and develop exactly a formal plan, that the board give you the authority to continue to work with them as it relates to giving them the authority to utilize the facility.
So just point of clarification on that. This is not approving the usage, is to continue to explore the idea. Just to make sure we're all clear on what we're talking about.
Well, and so the reason I say to continue to have a conversation is because they've not definitively requested how they want to use the facility. He said potentially after school, potentially they may want to do a summer program. As we kind of work through the details of exactly what they're going to propose, I would say the board give you the authority to work with them in that capacity.
All right. I will entertain a motion or a question of clarification if somebody has one at this time. I know it's a little bit out of order, but just so we're all clear on what we're talking about here.
Well, I was just going to move that the superintendent's recommendation to continue exploring, and since it is a summer program, in the event that he wants to go ahead and bring finality to it, then we can just ratify that in the next meeting.
I second.
All right. It's been motioned by Ms. McDaniel, second by Pastor Jackson for Dr. Green to continue the conversation. One question that I have. Obviously, our facility usage agreements right now are designed to deal with a limited time event, a one-day event where folks come in, use it, go. This would obviously be an extended usage agreement. It sounds like to me, have we started looking at what we need to have in an agreement like that as far as maybe cost sharing? Is electricity, whatever bills, or any liability, insurance wise, anything like that,
Yeah, so, Mr. Chair, those are very good questions. Quite honestly, those are details that we've yet to work out. Those would be some conversations, as I could tell you, working pastor, that he and I discussed, relative to cost sharing, potentially, insurance and the like. So, those are details that he and I continue to discuss. I'll be sure to share with the board.
that is part of the conversation.
That's part of the
Okay,
conversation.
thank you. Yes, sir, Mr. Miller.
I'm a little lost right here because they said I'm submitting this formal request to obtain old Fairfield High School Learning Center. So that's what it's saying here. So is it Gordon or is it Old Fairfield? Here it's saying that. So that's what got me a little.
Yeah, and so, quite honestly, Mr. Miller, I think what he's referring to is going out as academy.
I just want to make sure.
I think we kind of considered all of that Old Fairfield. He and I talked, and he talked about Old Fairfield because he has some members who were part of the renovation of that. But I really think he thinks that whole facility to include Gordon is part of Old Fairfield.
That's what I need some clarification.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chair. Well, I was gonna bring up as far as the liability of it, but also what is the condition of the building? Do we have any issues with that? You know, because we moved out of it for some reason, right?
Well, I mean, so it is a building that was probably built in the 40s or the 50s. I mean, so it is a very old facility. Relatively speaking, it is in relatively good shape. I mean, obviously, the facility that we moved into is in much better shape, but can it accommodate the training program? Can it accommodate after-school programs, summer programs? The answer to that is absolutely yes.
Thank you.
As a matter of fact, Ms. Hartman, we have our drama department who is utilizing some of that space in preparation of a performance later on next year. So, we've utilized it periodically. The wrestling team has used it during the course of this year for wrestling practice. Drama is using it in preparation of a performance later on this year. So, it is being utilized.
Thank you.
And Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
And really truly, I commend you, Dr. Green, because we should not have any buildings in this county that's not being used if there's a need for our students or our seniors or any of our citizens. The issue with the fees for the electricity, I think what we've done in the past is as long as it has been academics, we've not charged the utility fees. We have liens in our schools, and I think they pay very little, and they don't really pay anything for the actual use of the facility. It's just for the students' attendance. So if whatever Dr. Green works out entails giving our students more academics during the summer than what the district is providing, we usually go ahead and waive that, which I know we have to vote on it, but I just want to make sure.
Right. And thank you for clarifying that.
Okay.
Anything further on this? All right, it's been motioned and second. All those in favor of accepting the superintendent's recommendation to continue to explore this opportunity, indicate by raising your right hand. It appears to be 7-0. If y'all are fishing down there, what y'all doing? That's all. All right, I believe you're done, right, Doctor? Okay. Curriculum instruction.
Good evening. For your approval is for second and final reading is the 2018-19 academic calendar that was presented to you on last month. There were no changes made to the proposed calendar.
All right. Is there a motion in regard to the second and final reading of the 2018-19 academic calendar?
Mr. Chair, I say we accept the superintendent recommendation for the second and final reading of the 2018-2019 academic calendar year, provided I get a second.
All right, it's been motioned by Ms. Harrison, seconded by Pastor Jackson to accept the recommendation to approve second and final reading of the 2018-19 academic calendar. Any questions, discussion? Dr. Avery, I'm the one who suggested, so I'm going to ask the question. Did you get any data about the moving of the parent-teacher conference to that Thursday instead of some other time?
I did. I collected some numbers from the previous year, 2017, and compared it with our numbers 2018. And in 2017, we had 966 parents attended parent conferences, and we had an increase of over 163 parents attended 2018 conferences. And we had a total of 1,129 parents that attended conferences in 2018.
So it was an increase in the number of parents who actually participated.
Yes.
Any further issues, questions, concerns? All right. Seeing none, it's been motioned and seconded to approve the second final reading of the academic calendar for next year. All those in favor indicate by raising your right hand. 7-0. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Item number 2 are out-of-state overnight field trip requests. You have a series of items starting with items 1 through 5 for your approval, along with items 6 and 7 that we're requesting that they be approved retroactively based on the information submitted in board docs.
All right, this time the chair will entertain a motion regarding overnight out-of-state field trip requests as indicated in the exhibit.
Chair, for board policy, IJ on A, field trip, overnight out-of-state field trip, submitted to the board for approval. I accept the superintendent's recommendation that we providing acceptance, I believe.
A second.
A motion by Mr. Miller, seconded by Ms. Harrison to approve the overnight field trips per board policy in the exhibit. Any questions, issues, concerns on this? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by raising your right hand. 7-0. Operations and finance.
Good evening. In the board packet under operations and finance, item number 1 is SCE TV lease agreement, and the superintendent's recommendation is recommendation to approve the SCE TV lease agreement for $1 a year for 20 years. And if the communication companies lease the space, the district will receive revenue from the lease.
All right, Chair, entertain a motion regarding the SCTV lease agreement.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion we accept the superintendent recommendation for the approval of the SCE TV lease agreement for the $1 a year for 20 years. If communication companies lease the space, the district will receive revenue from the lease, provided I get a second.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Davis is second. All right, it's been motion and second to accept superintendent's recommendation regarding the SCETV lease. Terms of lease to be leased for $1 a year, and the school district will receive revenue from any leasing thereof. Any questions, issues, concerns on this?
How does that work? I don't know how does this leasing thing work?
And so Pastor Jackson, quite honestly, it really doesn't require much of a time or financial investment on our part. The ETV towers currently rest on our property. ETV now sees the opportunity to realize some revenue with particularly some of our telecommunications companies if they're allowed to utilize some of those towers. And they're simply going to share the revenue with us since the towers actually rest on our property. So in essence, we aren't doing anything but leasing it for $1. Whenever it's leased to an Altel, Verizon, Sprint, or whatever the case may be, they're willing to share some of the revenues with the school district.
I'm a little concerned.
Go ahead.
Is everybody getting some money?
breaks down, there's a percentage in the lease, I think we get a certain percentage of the first lessor, and then the second lessor, the percentage goes up, and the third lessor, I think we get half of whatever they get. We do get revenue. For $1.
And we don't have to do anything. Okay. All right, I can open this.
Almost too good to be true, Mr. President.
Almost what?
Almost too good to be true.
I know.
That's why she had that look.
No, I got it up now.
But I don't know if we have issues with computers this time.
Anybody else on this? All right, it's been motioned and seconded to approve the SETV lease agreement as stated. All those in favor indicate by raising the right hand. 7-0.
The second item under Operations and Finance is the April 2018 Finance Report for Board Review.
Any questions on the April finance report? I know it's speculative, Mr. Robinson, but I'm looking, it looks like we're potentially heading towards another budget surplus. Is it too soon to forecast that, or am I just getting too excited looking at that number?
No, sir. I would say in terms of, we're projected to have a surplus in the neighborhood, probably 1.7, 1.8 million conservatively in that area.
I know we got 3 more months to go, but it was starting to look good, and I couldn't resist asking.
You got 3 more months to go, plus you have the teacher salaries that they get paid doing something. So.
I know.
I'm just saying.
I'm not gonna hold him to it, I just wanted to hear it. Next agenda item.
The next agenda item is the second reading of the 18-19 budget. The superintendent is recommending second reading approval of the fiscal year 18-19 budget in the amount of $41,267,157, which includes an operational millage of 203.1 mils. It should be noted that there are just minor changes since the first reading, and those changes were just adjustments to the recommendations to stipends for athletics and band.
All right, Chair, entertain a motion at this time for regarding the FY 18-19 budget second reading.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion we set the superintendent recommendation for second reading approval of FY 18-19 budget in the amount of $41,267,157, which includes operational millage of 203.1.
Thank you, ma'am.
Right, I guess.
Thank you, Pastor Jackson. It's been motioned by Ms. Harrison, second by Pastor Jackson, to approve second reading of the FY 18-19 budget of $41,267,157, millage of 203.1 mils. Questions, issues, concerns?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Green, for the Christmas bonuses, is it still the 200 for this year?
Yes.
The next year?
Yeah, so currently it's $200 in the budget.
Okay.
Obviously, we'll continue to monitor that as we get closer to that time. We get any potential adjustment, but 200 is in the budget.
Thank you.
And I think Mr. Robinson addressed this. There was some discussion at the last board meeting about changing some stipends. I think you mentioned that there was some question about, I think, athletic stipends and some other stipends. Those were increased to reflect the board's wishes at the last meeting, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, they were.
Y'all indicated that y'all wanted it though, so it was included in there.
Yeah, we were just supposed to get the information and and also on the support staff.
And so, Ms. McDaniel, the 2 requests that were made relative to the athletic stipend and the band stipend, there did not appear to be a disagreement with that, and so we added it for the second reading. Obviously, the board can approve it or not approve it if they do not wish to move forward. As it relates to the salary, I forwarded everyone the teacher salary scale, the classified salary scale. academic supplements, and athletic supplements. And so, if there is some discussion relative to the salary schedule, I welcome that. What I'll tell you is, as I've said in the past, my goal is to potentially bring the board a revised salary schedule by this time next year. So, me and Kevin and Denise have been working on putting some numbers together to talk about what we would like to accomplish and what it would cost for us to accomplish what we'd like to accomplish. But our goal is to make a modification where we see an improvement across the board for all employees based on the proposal I bring to you within a year. So that's my goal.
Okay, I just thought that we would have a little more discussion on the entire salaries and where we were and what was being recommended. So we made the decision to just approve it.
Approve what now?
The supplements. Because obviously you didn't have anything in there for the support staff, did you?
You mean changes to the salary schedule?
Mm-hmm.
No, ma'am.
But you had increases for the stipends, for the.
I had the two increases that the board discussed last meeting, what we changed.
It was band and
Varsity girls, basketball.
Varsity girls and boys basketball. And that was the only change that was requested in the last meeting.
But I thought we were going, otherwise then I would just make it a motion and request, but I thought we were just gonna talk about it and give you the opportunity to review it, and then we just have some conversation about where we are and where they are. And then if what they're being paid is, I guess, acceptable, then that's fine. But if it wasn't, then some discussion about what we could do to make it better.
Well,
If we put in something else.
yeah, and so Ms. McDaniel, obviously, I would love to see us make an adjustment to our salary schedule that positively impacts all employees. I'd love to see teachers make more. I'd love to see cafeteria staff make more, custodians, clerical staff, bus drivers. And so what I'll be working on is a plan in which we can do that. Now, I'll tell you, that plan is probably going to cost several $1 million.
Now, my concern wasn't everybody.
Well,
my concern was the support staff. I'm pretty sure the other salaries are pretty much what they are. I understand the conversation about the teachers and what needs to happen with the teachers. But I just wanted to kind of see where we were with the support staff, to see whether or not we thought that something needed to be done. And maybe it didn't. Maybe nothing needs to be done. But I just thought there would have been some conversation. And I know we can't discuss particulars, and I wasn't concerned about particulars, but just positions and where they are on an annual basis.
And so, Ms. McDaniel, as it relates to rather we would like to do something, the answer to that is absolutely. I would like to do something as it relates to modification for everyone. I understand that you say you weren't necessarily concerned with everyone, you were just looking at just a small piece of that puzzle. I am looking at it from a much global, much larger, broader perspective, and what it would cost to modify the salary schedule for all employees.
And while I understand and respect that, Dr. Green, when you have a cafeteria worker making $18,000, $19,000 a year, and then you have a district office employee who doesn't have any much more skill set making $50,000 or $60,000. Only thing I'm saying is let's just look at it and see if there's any way we can add a little more equity if we think equity needs to be there. Not necessarily saying that we need to go through and increase the whole salary. That's one of the problems that we have with the teacher salary. And that's why we can't do a whole lot with them, because the recommendations are to do something for everybody instead of doing something for those teachers who are going way above and beyond and coming up with some kind of way of rewarding based on performance. So that was just kind of, but I mean, if everybody thinks that where we are is okay and we don't need to look at it, then that's fine. I totally disagree, but I do understand this is democracy, it's the majority rule. But I just thought that we would have had some conversation about it.
Well, once again, Ms. McDaniel, as I said, my recommendation is that I continue to work towards a modification to the entire salary schedule. If you have a different proposal, I welcome a different proposal.
Well, it calls for community, it calls for some conversation now. Like, I ain't trying to micromanage what's being done. And contrary to popular belief, I never told a superintendent in my 17 years on the board who to hire and how much to pay anybody. So I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to say, is there a way that we can just kind of look at it and see whether or not we are where we need to be?
And so, Mr. McDaniel, what I'll say is, I don't even look at it as micromanaging, okay? You know, obviously, boards have fiduciary responsibility. And I bring a proposal to the board as it relates to what I think is prudent. I come with a plan for how we can pay for it. You know, as I said, when I come to the board with a proposal for modifying the salary schedule, obviously, I'm gonna come to the board with a mechanism to fund that. If you as a board member have ideas about a modification that you'd like to see occur, I think you're well within your purview to do such.
And I appreciate that, I really do. Well, what can we do to have the conversation? I mean, can we have like a work session or something to just kind of?
Are you looking to do that for this fiscal year, or?
At least look at it for this fiscal year to see where we are. And then, you know, that could either take us into next year, or maybe there could be something that we could do. Over the last, 6 years, we had taken $1.7 million, put it over in the capital fund. And maybe we still do. I'm just asking for clarity of knowing where we are with the disparities, if they exist, with the support staff. And if the money still needs to go into capital, that's fine. But at least we would know that we had a conversation about it.
I understand, but it sounds like that's what we're working towards, not necessarily for this fiscal year, but for at least next year, is to see what we can do to be more competitive if we need to be
But is there
in all areas.
having a conversation to see where we currently are?
Mr. Chair, and Mr. McDaniel, I'll be honest with you. One very significant consideration that me and Mr. Robinson are really discussing is what happens with the PC Summer Legal facility. And so as we talk about a modification to the salary schedule and making that long-term commitment to people, I think we need to be very, very assured as to what is going to happen with the facility. As we know, 1 out of every 2 operational dollars that we receive comes from that facility. If all of a sudden a bankruptcy occurred or there is some modification in terms of the tax structure, that is going to significantly impact what we're able to do. Partly, that is why I think it would be prudent to let the process at VC Summer play out before you make any kind of long-term decisions.
And we may not make a decision. I'm just saying, let's just look at it and see where we are. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, we're raising the salaries in this particular one now, right? So it could affect that as far as what we're looking at. And I've asked, since I've been on the board a couple times, for this, salaries of positions, and I've never received it. And the reason for it is this reason exactly, to see how we compete with other people, whether we feel like different ones are paid what they should be paid. And you can't do that unless you're looking at it.
Well, you can't compare it unless you're going to look at everybody else's too. So, I think there just needs to be some understanding of what the request is and what information we want to try to compare. I mean, it's great to say, I want to look at salary scale.
If we're looking at teachers and we're losing teachers because of salaries, we don't know if we are or aren't. You follow what I'm saying? So we definitely, if that's the reason, we don't want to be losing them because of that.
Right. But how are you going to know if you just look at Fairfield County?
You don't. It'd be good to look at other ones.
That's my question. I mean, I understand what we're saying, but there needs to be some direction that we can give, say this is what we want to see if we're going to have that conversation.
Right.
I thought I said that at the last meeting, and Ms. Hartman is going a little bit different angle because she's talking about comparing salaries outside. I'm talking about looking at what we're doing internally.
Right.
And just seeing whether or not we see any discrepancies that we feel based on what their annual salary is that might need to be addressed, and if not in this budget, then working towards it in a future budget. But at some point, you have to stop and look at it and see whether or not, and I understand that the salary studies, Dr. Green, I understand it fairly well, but I also understand how there can be still people left behind when salary studies are done. So, I mean, when we look at it, I mean, it may be just a waste of time, but at least if we understand, we know where we are, particularly with our support staff.
Mr. Chair, so Mr. McDaniel, I can assure you, I spend lots of time studying the salary schedule. And, you know, Ms. Hartman, for example, I have a goal, quite honestly, and I will share this with you. I have a goal of having the highest starting teacher salary in the state of South Carolina. I think that'd be wonderful. I think that would help us be able to recruit teachers. I would like to correspondingly improve everyone else's salary to the extent that we improve teacher salaries. I don't think anyone on this board would disagree with that goal. The only issue is you have to find a way to pay for that. And so that's my challenge, is not only to implement something like that, but to come to the board with a way to fund that. So if the question is, do we have a desire to improve the compensation of employees, the answer to that is absolutely. But we just have to develop a mechanism for paying for that and be assured that we have the financial wherewithal to sustain that over a long period of time.
Well, I agree as far as the nuclear plant could be a problem. But can we have a meeting, like she's saying, to discuss it in more depth?
That's open
I
for
make a
words.
motion to do that.
I just want to be clear on what we want to do. We're saying we want to have a meeting to talk about salaries. What do we want to look at? It's very easy to say we're going to do that, but we got to give some direction. If information's got to be gathered together to folks so they know what we need to look at.
So then, Mr. Frick, what did we look at to make the decision to increase the salary, the supplements that we're increasing?
There was discussion at the last board meeting based on what was presented that the board members felt that those particular supplements should be increased. Those are the ones that are increased in the information you got before you this evening.
Okay, so it's the exact same question, except on a wider scale, and I'm not asking for an increase, because the increase may not be warranted. But I'm just asking if we could just look at the different categories of employees, especially our support staff, and see where.
Based on what, Ms. McDaniel? You're saying we need to see what we need to do.
No, I didn't say I didn't say what we need to do. I said where we are. Specifically where we are. If we have cafeteria workers actually making $16,000 to $17,000 a year, while we have a secretary who also have no high school degree making $40,000 or $50,000. That's a discrepancy.
I don't know.
It may not be. That's just an example.
I want to make sure we're comparing apples with apples. Not necessarily. I don't know that's necessarily a comparable thing to do.
But what we just did wasn't comparable either, but we made the decision to do it.
Well.
And all I'm saying is, let's just look at what we did last time. We actually went on and gave more money. And I'm not saying we shouldn't have, and I'm not saying I disagree with it.
Here's the issue I've got. What you want to do is a fairly comprehensive look, okay?
No, I didn't say what had to be comprehensive. All I need to do is.
Again, Mr. McGann, I don't know what you're asking.
Because you're trying to make it complicated, because you're trying to block it, Mr. Frank. If we just had a conversation.
No, Ms. McDaniel, because I've been on this board 5 years, and every time somebody gives you your information, you tell them that ain't what you wanted. So I want to make sure we know what you want.
No, you need to take that back. Because since you've been on this board, you all have not been giving us information. So come on now, let's not take this where it don't need to go.
I just want to make sure we've got the information that you want if we're going to have this conversation.
I think Dr. Green understands clearly what was asked for. He was able to get it, and he made the decision with the supplements. The same thing with these folks.
So let's be clear, Ms. McDaniel. The adjustments to the supplement was made based on request by board members. So we had board members.
What do you mean? We didn't vote on that last time.
Okay, there was a discussion where board members requested that the change be made.
But it wasn't voted on. And right now we're having a discussion based on board members asking for
Okay, so this is our motion, Ms. McDaniel. Board members made a request for the change to be made. Then we'll vote on second reading. If you vote for the second reading, you're voting in favor of the change.
So you just made.
Exactly what's the change?
Okay. The change was to increase all the band supplements by $10,000 and to increase the two head boys basketball supplements by $3,000, $1,500 a piece.
I guess I don't understand why we make it a federal issue out of just looking at information, which may not even warrant any kind of recommendation for an increase. And I'm not even advocating yet for an increase.
So I guess, Mr. McDaniel, when you say look at it, you aren't referring to me, I'm assuming. You're talking about your colleagues. As I said it to you, when you say look at it, you talking about me look at it, or you talking about you and the rest of the board look at it?
For the board to have the conversation.
Okay, so you aren't talking about me, you're talking about you and the board.
Well, don't you present information to the board?
Okay, I've already presented all the salary information, okay? But obviously you want to do something more than what I
The email
presented.
that you talking about that you sent?
Yes.
Okay, then I just need to review that. I apologize, I have not reviewed that.
Okay.
That was so late.
It was sent late.
I sent it on Sunday, yeah, I sent it on Sunday.
Yeah, so I hadn't had a chance to look at that. And the other information, we had issues getting into the emails and into board docs.
I wasn't getting any emails at all. That's why I had to.
All right, any other discussion about this at this time? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving second reading of the FY 18-19 budget indicate by raising your right hand. 5 opposed? 2 opposed, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, can we put on the agenda for the next meeting that we have the serious conversation?
You want us to put serious conversation?
Yeah, we put that right on there, call it that time. Serious conversation.
Mr. McDaniel, I do want to remind the board, I said it before the budget process began. If we wanted to have a workshop to talk about budget issues, let me know some dates. I received no response from anyone. So, if you want to have a serious conversation, that would be the time to have a serious conversation. And I received no response from anyone.
Any date would be fine with me.
No one told me any dates.
Well,
I
you
can't
just said,
ask.
reminded us to say that, did anybody want to have a work session? You just said a day.
I said it 2 months before the budget process started.
We always ask you for a work session every year.
No one asked this year, Ms. Fargo.
Yeah, we did,
All right.
we did bring it up.
Yes, I asked for dates, and no one provided any
You know,
dates.
I thought you were gonna bring it back up like the next meeting
I
to
did.
get a date. No, I asked
All
that
right.
last week, remember?
Moving on,
Mr. Frank, I'm asking for that to be on the agenda for discussion at the next
we
meeting.
will put serious discussion on the agenda for your
You know, that
request.
serious discussion is gonna be the salaries after I review the information that Dr. Green submitted.
It's third reading, we hadn't approved it, so I mean, you're certainly welcome to.
I just wanna make sure that there's no issues at the next meeting when we get ready to have a conversation.
I just want you to review the information.
Or the information will be reviewed.
Thank you, Mary.
I want you to review it too now.
I don't have your issues, Ms. McDaniel.
It doesn't matter, you're still part of the board, and it's a concern, and it involves the employees of the district. And we talk about all the employees.
Right, the budget increases their pay. So, all right, moving on.
No, when you talk about increase of pay now, don't put that out there, it's reviewing. Anybody say anything about increase?
No, ma'am, what I'm saying is the budget that we currently have before us provides a pay increase for all personnel.
Oh, you yelling?
No,
Okay. Just wanna make sure.
I ain't yelling at you, no, because you'll yell back. All right. What's next on the agenda?
The final item under operations and finance is a budget transfer request. The superintendent recommends approval of a budget transfer in the amount of $26,000 to help fund the Beta Club's summer competition expenses.
Chair will entertain a motion regarding the budget transfer request for the Beta Club summer competition expenses.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation approval of a budget transfer in the amount of $26,000 to help fund the Beta Club's summer competition expenses. Provided I get a second.
Mr. Chair, I second.
Yes, sir. Thank you. It's been a motion by Ms. Harris and seconded by Pastor Jackson to approve the recommendation of the transfer of $26,000 to for the budget for the Beta Club summer competition expenses. Any discussion on that?
Now, Mr. Chair, when we approved some of the other trips, we didn't get budget transfers based on those, so is there any particular reason why we need to approve the budget transfer on these?
So, Ms. McDaniel, the other trips, there was money already allocated in the budget to fund those trips. There's no money allocated to fund this.
Okay. Thank
transfer, please indicate by raising your right hand. 7-0, thank you.
Is there funds in the budget now for that?
For what?
For Baby Club competitions?
So we have money in the budget for the state competitions. We don't have money in the budget for the national competition, and so that's what we just approved.
Human resource.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For your approval this evening under Human Resources, item 1 are certified resignations and terminations, where the superintendent recommends the board approve those certified resignations and terminations for current staff members who will not return after the conclusion of the 2017-18 academic year. The information is enclosed within Exhibit 1.
Thank you, ma'am. Chair will entertain a motion regarding certified resignations and terminations in Exhibit 1.
Mr. Chair, I recommend the board, I move that the board approve the recommendation coming from the administration.
Thank you, Ms. McDaniel. Seconded by Pastor Jackson to approve the certified resignation terminations in Exhibit 1. As is personnel, no discussion on this matter. All those in favor indicate by raising your right hand. 7-0.
I did have a question of Mr. Chair, and I know it's not pertaining to any particular one individual.
I know you know the boundaries. Go ahead.
But are any of those teachers teaching during the summer school? The ones that resigned?
No, ma'am. Generally, no.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Next for your approval is item 2, certified recommendations, where the superintendent recommends the board approve certified staff members for academic year 2018-19. The information is contained within Exhibit 2.
Thank you, ma'am. Chair will entertain a motion in regard to certified recommendation.
I move that we accept the superintendent's recommendation on the certified recommendations.
Thank you, ma'am.
I second.
Thank you, ma'am. It's been motioned by Ms. McDaniel, seconded by Ms. Harrison to approve certified recommendations in Exhibit 2. Again, personnel, no discussion of it. All those in favor indicate by raising your right hand. 7-0. I think that comes down to me. Anybody know off the top of the head, next board meeting, I have it on my calendar. June? June 5th? Is it real?
Yes, it is. I don't know why.
All right. Also, it's starting to come up on the calendar. Y'all look, make sure your calendar's clear for the intergovernmental meeting. It's coming up on June the 27th. It looks like it's county, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's county. Obviously, we'll get some more. We got to meet between there and then. I just want everybody to go ahead and start putting that on your calendar as we approach June. Anything for the good of the organization?
It's good.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chair, Dr. Green, I forgot at the last meeting to thank you for the hand sanitizer dispenser. I appreciate it. And also, Annie probably can remember this young lady, Valencia Thompson, in the wheelchair. She was born with a disability. She was a 2000 graduate of Fairfield, valedictorian. She graduated from Winthrop and got her master's. She's in the Essence magazine. She's also my client, but she's advocate for black women with a disability, and she was born, she's been in a wheelchair all her life, but she travels around and speaks. She's actually been in Washington, and they actually had me on the speaker so I can listen to all of it. I can't hardly keep up with her now, but she's niece to Coach Harry Heath and Helen Heath. But I just wanted to share that with y'all because she is an alumni of Fairfield Central. Oh, yes.
She gets to post for Huffington Post sometimes too, if I recall my Facebook post.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So make sure y'all get the Essence magazine.
Mr.
She's
Chair,
in there.
Yes, ma'am.
when is the public hearing for the budget?
I believe it was May 8th.
It was already?
Yes, ma'am.
It was. Thank you.
It's in the calendar. All right.
Before you, Mr.
Yes, ma'am. Go
Chair,
ahead.
is there any interest in the board in changing the board meeting next year so we don't have the board meeting the same night that we have the Fairfield?
It's a good question. next month. Can we look at that? It has coincided every year. I'd like to go one day. I might win the truck. All right, we will look at that. Thank you, Ms. McKinney. Anything further?
Okay, one final thing, and I promise I'm good. Dr. Green, I got some concern from folk about summer school, and that we always have summer school at the magnet school, and why we don't have that school at other elementary schools.
I don't know if that's accurate, but I would look at that, Ms. McKinney. We had that several different schools, you know, yeah.
Okay. If you just look at it, so I can, and then, I mentioned it. Who we are.
Any further business? Seeing none, motion to adjourn?
When we adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
All those in favor say aye. Like 7-0 to me. Again, you make the motion, Pastor Jackson second.
Don't worry, it's all on live. How y'all doing? Rick just said it's live, right there. Viewing audience, the click,
No, I
join
think some
us.
students.
The mean,
You know, that's scary, because that thing is like it's on, and it is really on.
it is on, it's being, wherever True Sisters live on the internet, it's live. You can do it all over.